What's the best source of information about the security clearance process? Clearancejobs.com. Hi, this is Lindy Kaiser with clearancejobs.com. Was reminded about all the different online forums, discussion boards, etc. in a recently released RAND report, which discusses misconceptions about the security clearance process found online. I will not be able to encapsulate that study well because I'm not RAND and this is a YouTube video update, but it basically talks about different online sources for information about the security clearance process and provides some analysis of those sources. One of those was clearancejobsblog.com. So shout out to clearancejobsblog.com, which we discuss here, and their discussions thread. It is a place where we have different discussion boards, one specific to FSOs, one specific to questions of the clearance process. And we do see a lot of questions come in from applicants and folks around the security clearance process. What we typically and do always say, however, is that with any discussion site out there, it is a buyer beware, reader beware type of a situation. Different than a hard news article you're going to see over at clearancejobs.com. On a discussion board, people post their comments and can then reply to them, and not all of those replies are accurate. It's one of the things that the RAND report noted. Certainly didn't ding that too much. I think there's a lot of information online. A lot of it is anecdotal. I think when you're going to a forum, you're typically looking for anecdotal information. So you want to know what somebody else's experience is like. I don't think that's a bad thing. I certainly don't think it's a bad thing to gather information. But if you're watching this video update, maybe you're somebody who's curious about the process, considering applying, this is always a great time to remember that the security clearance process is very much an individualistic process. There is an individual background investigation for each person. There is an adjudicative decision made based on the person. And I think that is why that we see the actual denial rate for security clearances is incredibly low, and so low, and much lower than what you will see if you're looking at a forum and seeing people's comments. You're gonna think, wow, there's tons of people who are losing their clearances or not getting a clearance. Certainly people drop out of the process. That's a separate problem, and actually addressed in a different RAND report that was recently released that talks about the onboarding and the candidate experience for government careers is not all the things that it could be. But when it comes to the security clearance process, anything anybody else tells you is not necessarily going to correlate back to your situation. Even on a very similar topic, you could have somebody who has the exact same issues with debt or the exact same issues with foreign influence, across the board, a lot of things similar, and still have a different adjudicative decision because they're going to look at you. They talk about things like age, your history, your background. There are different ways to mitigate any issue, and those mitigations are going to be different for the person. So again, online forums, discussion boards, obviously clearancejobsblog.com is the best discussion board you could go to. But any resource you're going to go to online, if you are getting feedback from other folks about their experience, it is feedback about their experience. It might not be applicable to your situation. Don't let a horror story you read online keep you from applying for a national security career. There are a lot of options and opportunities for you out there. So we will link to an article about the RAND report and provide some more information. But if you are searching an online site, just know your situation is unique. Add that great disclaimer saying that this is not official advice. If you're querying somebody on the internet, they are just giving you their best educated opinion. We need people pursuing national security careers, and we don't want them to get turned away by misconceptions. So for more on the security clearance process or to ask your security clearance questions, visit clearancejobsblog.com.